What's it like to survive 90 days underwater without communication or sunlight? How much food do 150 submariners need to survive?
Beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, a city of steel moves silently through the dark. It has no windows, no sunlight, and no fresh air. Yet inside it, 155 Americans eat, sleep, and live for months at a time. This is life aboard an Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine, one of the most complex machines ever built by human hands, and one of the most isolated. From the moment the hatches seal, the crew enters a different world, one where every square foot has a purpose, every sound matters, and every person must function with precision. The boat becomes their entire universe, a home, a workplace, and, if necessary, a battlefield. Space is the first thing that disappears. On an Ohio-class sub, nuclear reactors, missile silos, ballast tanks, and machinery take up nearly 2/3 of the hull. What remains is divided between control stations, workshops, sleeping compartments, and a narrow corridor of common areas. Every inch counts. The corridors are barely wide enough for 2 people to pass. Moving through them is a practice dance, ducking under pipes, twisting sideways, stepping back to let someone through. After a few days, it becomes instinct. The body learns the submarine's rhythm, the hum of the reactor, the vibration of the propeller shaft, the faint hiss of circulating air. Unlike other Navy assignments, service on a submarine is strictly voluntary. Only those who choose this life are accepted. The screening is rigorous, medical, psychological, technical. Because once you're sealed inside, there's no rotation, no relief. The crew must coexist, trust each other, and stay sharp for the entire patrol. 90, sometimes 120 days beneath the sea. Their day runs on a tight 24-hour cycle, split into 3 8-hour sections. 8 hours on watch, 6 for maintenance or drills, 2 to eat, wash, or relax. Then back on duty again. There are no weekends, no holidays, and no sunrise to mark time. The only real clue to the hour is what's being served in the galley. If it's pancakes, it must be morning. If it's leftovers, it's probably midnight. Privacy barely exists. Each sailor's entire living space is a bunk, a narrow metal coffin barely 74 inches long and 25 wide, stacked 3 high. The ceiling above the top bunk is so low that turning over can scrape your shoulder. Behind the curtain lies the only personal territory they have. Inside are a few photographs, a book, and a small locker under the mattress, about the size of an airline carry-on. Everything a submariner owns must fit there. Even this limited comfort isn't guaranteed. Submarines often carry more crew than bunks, which means hot bunking. 3 sailors sharing 2 beds in rotation. When one finishes his watch, he climbs into a bunk still warm from the last occupant. It's not ideal, but it works. Over time, the crew adapts. The smell of metal, detergent, and recycled air becomes background noise. The routine replaces comfort. On an Ohio-class boat,
like and subscribe to the channel if you're hungry too. Do it for the country of soldiers.
there are only 3 showers and 2 toilets for enlisted sailors. They're small, stainless steel stalls with just enough room to turn around. Showers are limited to 3 minutes. Water on, water off, soap, rinse. If water production is ahead of schedule, the executive officer may authorize Hollywood showers, rare moments when sailors can let the water run freely. But that luxury depends on the ship's desalination units keeping up. Water comes from the sea itself, distilled and purified by the submarine systems. The same reactors that power the ship's engines also provide heat to generate fresh water and oxygen. It's a closed ecosystem. Water becomes steam, steam becomes water again, endlessly recycled. Nothing is wasted. Laundry follows the same rule. 2 washing machines and 2 dryers serve the entire crew. Each sailor signs up for a slot, usually once every 10 days. Miss your turn and you wait another week. Clean clothes become currency, something earned through planning and patience. The crew's mess, located near the center of the ship, is both a dining room and a social hub. Here, the crew eats, talks, and decompresses between shifts. The space is small, enough for about 40 people at a time. But it's where the submarine feels most alive. Stainless tables, bolted benches, warm light bouncing off white walls. Trays clatter, conversation hums, and the air smells of coffee, fried bacon, and machinery oil. For all its limitations, the food is famous. The Navy takes pride in feeding its submariners well. On an Ohio-class sub, 6 to 8 cooks prepare 4 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and mid-rats, the midnight meal for sailors on watch. These culinary specialists are trained not just in cooking, but in logistics, sanitation, and nutrition. Before every patrol, the submarine loads around 20,000 pounds of food, enough for 90 to 120 days. The inventory includes roughly 1,500 pounds of ribeye beef, 1,200 pounds of chicken breast, 400 pounds of bacon, 9,800 pounds of flour, 2,500 pounds of sugar, and more than 1,000 pounds of coffee. That coffee is always brewing. Its smell cuts through the recycled air like a heartbeat. Storage is a science of its own. With limited room, food is packed into every possible space, under bunks, in unused showers, even inside escape trunks. For the first few weeks, sailors sleep on top of cases of canned goods. As the patrol continues, the deck level slowly lowers as the crew literally eats its way down to the floor. Fresh produce is consumed first. Lettuce, apples, eggs, and milk last only about 2 weeks. After that, meals rely on frozen or canned ingredients. Yet the cooks find ways to keep variety alive. They make pizza from scratch, bake bread daily, and serve desserts that rival shore kitchens. Ice cream is always available, a small luxury that boosts morale when nothing else can. The menu is the same for officers and enlisted sailors. In a world where rank defines everything, food is the great equalizer. Everyone eats the same meal, drinks the same coffee, and laughs at the same jokes. In the narrow galley, the cooks move with the precision of mechanics. Every surface is stainless steel. Pans are locked in place with clips to prevent spills during sudden dives. Ovens are mounted on shock absorbers. When the submarine rolls or pitches, the galley crew adjusts automatically. Knees bent, hands steady. The hardest part isn't the heat or the hours, but anticipating the boat's motion. A sudden turn can send an entire tray of food across the room. During long deployments, the galley becomes a kind of sanctuary. The smell of baking bread and frying onions brings a touch of home to a world of machines. It's the one place where the ocean's pressure feels distant, where humanity reasserts itself, one meal at a time. Between meals, the same mess hall turns into a recreation area. Sailors watch movies on a small projector, play cards, or compete in video games. Some write emails when the boat surfaces, and communications are briefly allowed. Others simply sit in silence, resting between shifts, their minds thousands of miles away. It's a strange balance, isolation and teamwork, discipline and fatigue. But after weeks underwater, it starts to feel normal. The submarine becomes an extension of the body. The crew becomes a single organism. Everyone depends on everyone else. That unity is the foundation of submarine life, and the reason it works. Deep inside the Ohio-class submarine, life runs on routine, an endless rotation of shifts, drills, meals, and sleep. Every hour has a purpose. Every person has a role. There are no spectators underwater. The medical department consists of one man, the Independent Duty Corpsman, or IDC. He is the submarine's doctor, dentist, pharmacist, and psychologist all at once. There is no backup, no second opinion. If someone gets hurt, he is the one who saves them. IDCS undergo one of the toughest medical trainings in the military. They learn surgery, radiology, emergency medicine, and even dentistry. They must be able to operate in conditions no hospital could tolerate, with no sunlight, no outside support, and the constant vibration of engines in the background. In an emergency, the wardroom, the officer's dining area, becomes an operating room. The table is cleared, instruments sterilized, lights adjusted. The IDC performs what he must, assisted by volunteers. It's rare, but the system works. Lives have been saved this way, hundreds of feet below the ocean surface. Health aboard the submarine is a constant priority. The air is recycled, the temperature regulated, and the atmosphere monitored with precision. Oxygen levels, humidity, and carbon dioxide are measured every minute. A single error in the life support systems could be fatal. To counter that, crews follow strict hygiene rules. Showers are short. Sleeping spaces are kept clean. Even the air ducts are checked weekly for bacteria buildup. Still, the greatest challenge isn't physical, it's psychological. Submariners live without sunlight, without seasons, without real time. They measure life in watch cycles and meal schedules. Some compare it to spaceflight, confined, repetitive, and silent. But in that silence, the human mind adapts. Sailors find rhythm in the routine. They make jokes, celebrate small events, and build a sense of family stronger than blood. Communication with the outside world is limited. When the submarine is submerged, radio silence is absolute. No calls, no messages, no signals that might reveal their position. Only when the boat surfaces for brief communication windows can emails be sent. Short, filtered, delayed. Every message passes through security checks before delivery. Sometimes they wait days, sometimes weeks. Many patrols go for a month or more without a single word from home. That isolation shapes people. It demands resilience, patience, and trust. For many, the only real connection to normal life comes through rituals. Morning coffee, evening meals, workouts in the torpedo room. Yes, even the gym is improvised. Between weapon racks and spare torpedoes sits a small collection of equipment, an exercise bike, a rowing machine, some dumbbells, and a punching bag. There's no room for anything else. But every day, sailors take turns exercising, not for vanity, but for discipline. In the confined world of the submarine, physical strength keeps the mind stable. Sleep is another challenge. The hum of machinery never stops. The boat rocks gently, but not enough to lull anyone to sleep. Some find comfort in the sound, the steady vibration that means everything is working. Others wear earplugs and dream of silence. When free time comes, it's usually spent in the mess hall. The same tables used for meals now hold cards, chessboards, and notebooks. Movie nights are organized once a week, using a projector aimed at a white bulkhead. The film doesn't matter much. It's the sense of normalcy that counts. Laughter spreads through the compartment, echoing off steel walls. For a brief moment, it feels like home. Submarine life also allows for a rare kind of individuality. Grooming standards are more relaxed here than anywhere else in the Navy. Shaving isn't required daily. Beards and long hair are tolerated within reason. A small freedom in a place built entirely on structure. The crew calls it the beard advantage. It's one of the few signs that time is actually passing. Everyday maintenance never ends. Each sailor knows multiple systems: propulsion, sonar, hydraulics, weapons, or navigation. But beyond their specialty, everyone learns how to handle emergencies: fire, flooding, radiation, loss of oxygen. Training is relentless. They practice blindfolded drills, simulate reactor shutdowns, and memorize every valve and switch by touch. Because down here, there's no backup crew. The people you serve with are the only lifeline you have. The command center, called the control room, is the brain of the submarine. It's where depth, speed, and heading are monitored. Sonar operators listen for distant echoes, whales, cargo ships, or something else moving in the dark. Fire control technicians manage targeting systems and weapon readiness. Every decision, every maneuver begins here. It's the one space where the entire submarine's tension can be felt in the air. A few decks below lies the torpedo room, doubling as both armory and at times sleeping space. When berthing areas overflow, some sailors spread sleeping bags between torpedo racks, turning one of the most dangerous rooms on Earth into an improvised bedroom. In the silence, the faint smell of oil and metal replaces the scent of detergent. It's not comfortable, but it's tradition. Every compartment aboard has two purposes, sometimes three. The galley cooks food and bakes bread, but it also serves as a social equalizer. The mess deck hosts meals and meetings, but also briefings, celebrations, and even award ceremonies. The wardroom doubles as a hospital. The control room becomes a training center. The submarine is a shape-shifting world of necessity. Every space repurposed as needed, every task interconnected. Medical inspections, food safety checks, and radiation monitoring are all part of the IDC's daily work. He tracks every sailor's health, weight, sleep, and radiation exposure. The data is reported back to the fleet's medical command after surfacing. Despite the isolation, no detail is missed. Beneath all the structure and technology lies something simple: human endurance. Submariners learn to live in constant proximity without losing patience. They share every breath of recycled air, every limited resource, every routine. Over time, differences fade. What remains is professionalism and quiet pride. There's a saying in the submarine community: everyone aboard is essential, or no one survives. It's not exaggeration. A mistake by one can endanger all. But it's that shared vulnerability that creates the strongest bond imaginable. As the patrol nears its end, the mood begins to change. The last cans of food disappear, the storage lockers empty, and the first message comes from the surface. The mission is nearly complete. The cooks prepare a final feast: roast beef, mashed potatoes, and cake. The air feels lighter, the laughter louder. After months of darkness, everyone senses what's coming. When the submarine finally surfaces and the hatch opens to daylight, the brightness is almost blinding. The crew steps out onto the deck, squinting at the sun, tasting real air for the first time in months. Some cheer, others stand in silence. The hum that has been their world fades behind them, replaced by the sound of waves and wind. They have lived in a world few will ever see, a city beneath the sea, silent and unseen, holding the weight of national defense on their shoulders. They've slept beside reactors, eaten in steel rooms, and trusted each other with their lives. These men and women form one of the most elite communities in the military, not because of rank or weapons, but because of what they endure together. Far below the ocean's surface, they keep watch while the rest of the world sleeps, carrying out missions no one will ever hear about, returning quietly, leaving no trace except their stories. They are America's silent defenders, a force sustained not by glory or recognition, but by discipline, humor, and the steady rhythm of life under pressure. If this look inside the world of the Ohio-class submarines gave you a new respect for those who live beneath the waves, show your support, like, comment, and subscribe for more unseen stories of service, endurance, and the human spirit that keeps the deep alive.